we're going to do a short exercise about it. So to begin with, persuasive design, it's about designing systems to motivate or encourage people toward healthier behaviors. Examples of these could be what we found in apps like rewards. So whenever you complete a specific activity, then you get a reward with some points or some type of, well, we'll see this later. Basically, you get either something, money or points that you can use in the system that you're using, or you could get accurate feedback about what you were doing. So sounds or type of points basically. So persuasive system design is normally informed by theory, and these theories, so the fact that they're based in theories, contribute to have more effective designs. And by effective, we mean that they are able to reach the intended change in the behavior that they're targeting. One of the most widely used theories in persuasive design is self-determination theory. And this theory is a very big theory, which is composed of 6 mini-theories, of which today I'm going to focus on just 2 of them. One of these is the organismic integration theory, which the main characteristic is that it makes a difference between what is extrinsic motivation, what motivates people externally, and how there's other type of motivation which is internal to the person, or intrinsic. The other mini-theory is the basic psychological needs theory, and this one is based on the fact that people have 3 basic psychological needs, which are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. So this theory states that when these 3 needs are satisfied, then people reach growth, integrity, and well-being. When the psychological needs are not met, there could be psychological harm. So when we talk about these basic needs, we have the first one, which is autonomy. That it is the one that considers that individuals own their actions. So what they do comes from them. They are the one deciding what to do. Then we have competence, which refers to individuals feeling effective on the task that they're performing. And then relatedness, which is that individuals feel connected or involved with the others that are doing the same activity. So as part of our research, we did a classification of persuasive apps, and we came up with this classification of features. So basically, we have features for autonomy here. We have features for competence, and we have features for relatedness. And it's also important to notice that, for instance, some features support not only autonomy, for instance, but could also support the relatedness feature. So I'm going to give you some examples and explain to you a little bit of these features. So the first one is autonomy feature. So we have reminders. Reminders, according to the self-determination theory, state that it is a way to be self-organized, and it is a way in which individuals are under autonomy. I mean, it supports autonomy, supportive conditions if they are the ones that are doing the action. So in this case, we have 2 examples of reminders. One that is a reminder that is given by the app, and another one which is the user that is setting the reminder that he or she will be doing. Another example is goal setting. So for instance, goal setting occurs when the person is the one deciding what activity they're going to be doing, so that what we call the perceived locus of causality is internal. According to SDT as well, whenever the goals are imposed by someone else or by an external element, then this might harm the need of autonomy. So we see here 3 examples. So first one, we have goal setting by activity. So you pick the activity that you want. Then the app sets you or suggests you which could be your goal. And then here is the user the one that's deciding which goal is going to be set. Next, in autonomy, we also have motivational messages. So these messages help the person reflect or think about why they want to pursue the goal that they're trying to reach. And in this example, we see messages for these apps that help or send you messages to be more motivated to stop smoking. Now we move to the competence supporting features. So for these ones are the ones about the person feeling effective in the task that they're doing. So we have, for instance, here activity feedback. So whenever this feedback feels like it's an evaluation or it's a control feedback, it damages the intrinsic motivation. So this is something to be concerned about. And yeah, this is like the examples I was trying to tell you before. So whenever you finish an activity, then you get this message, or you get this green icon over here. Moving on, we have history. So history allows the users to reflect on how their performance has been across a timeline. In this case, we can see this part over here. So the person is able to see how their score has increased and then decreased through time. In this way, by looking at the feedback, people are able to get to know what was occurring in their context or in their environment that caused having that type of performance. And this is one of the characteristics of history. Then we come to rewards. Again, this is what I was telling you at the beginning. So rewards can be in the shape of monetary or tangible. So in this case, this app gives people money by completing the activity. Or here, they receive tangible or virtual rewards that they can use inside the app. So what's important here is that rewards can be detrimental or they can demotivate people if the person is already motivated to do the activity that they're doing and then they start receiving rewards. And again, if these rewards are given as something external, then it as well might harm the feeling of being autonomous. Then we move to the related and supportive features. This is the need that it's about people feeling connected or important to other people that are doing the same activity. So one example is performance sharing. So in an app, whenever you're doing a particular activity and then you finish, you want to share this with your other friends or people that are in the app. So in this way, people can receive acknowledgement of and support of other people that are doing the same activity. And in this way, according to SDT, the fact that people share what they are doing and receiving this acknowledgement from other people make them feel connected and important. And in turn, they will support the feeling of relatedness. Then peer comparison is another feature which resembles what we know as ranking. And it's basically a way in which people can compare each other and also feel connected to the people that are participating in the activity. So here we see a feature that supports two needs, for instance. So peer comparison, you see that there's a relatedness supportive because you can see the other people that are competing in the activity or doing the activity, but at the same time, you get to see your score and you get to see how well you're doing with in relation to others and yourself. Next we have messaging. Again, this feature allows people or users to connect with others that are doing similar activities. This could come in the form of a chat, like here, or it could also be like a forum over here. So again, in a message, and with a message feature, people are able to get in contact with each other and support each other, and then in turns they can support the feeling, or they will support the feeling of relatedness. So what I would like you to take away from this is that using behavior theories are a good inspiration to design persuasive system designs. Then if you use theories, most likely you will have positive outcomes in your experiments or in your design. And also, well, persuasive design will be, using persuasive design will create more effective behavior change apps. So these are some references of the theory that I mentioned, in case you want to go look around. And right now, I would like to jump to a small activity, but I will take your question first.
Thank you. Just about the tools you mentioned, what's the difference with the gamification tools, or is it the same?
Oh, very good question. Yeah, these techniques are very similar. But they are not gamification. Most of the time, gamification is referred to the fact of including a playful element into the design. But in this case, these features come directly from the theory, and they're based in these three needs that I told you. So the difference between using these techniques, let's say, that come from the theory and gamification, would be that the difference is with gamification you include a playful element in the design.
Okay, but it rewards peer comparison in the form of a scoreboard. It reminds me of Batman, for example. It's not from, yeah. So I see some similarities, but I understand what you mean.
Yes.
With the playful element.
Yes.
Got a second question. About the definition. Encourage the user towards a healthier behavior.
Yes.
Where does this healthy comes from? Can I say persuasive design is to encourage the user towards any behavior I would like him to have?
Yes. Here comes like an ethical part of persuasive design, and that's why I included the word healthier. Because you can use persuasive design to change behavior, basically. So you can either decide if you want to change it for good or for bad. And I wanted to stress the fact that we want to do it in a good way, and that's why I wrote healthier. But it's true that you can use persuasive design to engage more people into the systems so that they spend more time in the system, as you've seen in YouTube and Netflix with all the techniques they have, so that you engage with in the system, which not normally will lead to a healthier behavior, but on the contrary to be more addictive.
So it's a statement.
Yeah.
Let's make persuasive design ethical.
Yeah.
Well, in a sense, I mean, you can think in general terms about marketing. Marketing, I mean, it's a discipline, right? And some of these techniques are also used in marketing. Marketing doesn't necessarily focus on the user, on the customer, right? In terms of making the life of the customer better, but it tries to basically maximize the profits or the sales of the seller, basically. So it depends on where you put the accent. So here we try to focus on what we call healthier behaviors, and what we mean by that is what is considered to be by the majority of people healthier. So we know that, for instance, going for more active lifestyle is generally considered to be like healthier behavior. Not smoking is considered by by lots of people and researchers and physicians basically like a healthier behavior. So I think obviously you can always question that and say no, but I think smoking is good. That's good for me. But let's say that there are like some general behavior that undoubtedly they are considered by the majority of people as being healthy for everybody.
It raises many questions about.
Yeah, but in the both cases you try to create addiction.
It's addiction towards healthier behavior.
It's an addiction.
But it's still a form of addiction, yes.
Yeah, it's a good addiction.
But typically in English, when you use the word addiction, it has a negative connotation. So it means like stuff that is not good for your body or for your psychological well-being. So an addiction can be towards drugs, but not towards walking and running more. So you call it like a healthy habit. But yes. Questions?
I mean, another way to look at it as well is that, I mean, addiction is one word, but the other word is forming pathways. So the brain obviously forms pathways for things it learns, and whether it's a positive habit or a negative habit, like you are basically strengthening those pathways. So yes, some of those behaviours can be profoundly negative, and those pathways that you don't want to reinforce. Yeah, I like to think of it that way rather than addiction per se.
Yeah, so for instance, in interaction design, we often talk about engagement, and today also we are going to talk a lot about engagement. So when you're in a company, when I was at Google, for instance, one of the missions was always to increase engagement. Okay, so you go to YouTube, when you pull the list of videos, it always refreshes and it's always showing you new stuff, and that is done on purpose because they want you to stick in the app as long as possible. Okay, that's not healthy. I mean, if you spend like several hours every day watching videos, I mean, it's going to be horrible for your body. Okay, but it's good for the revenue of the company. Okay, so depending on what you are trying to do, and you will be asked at some point as a designer, as an interaction designer, to think more about the interest of the company you're working for, right? And at times you might say, no, I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to take like a more ethical way of doing design, where I focus more on the interests of the users of the system.
Yeah, just one more thing. Another way of engagement is to use the infinite scroll, which is what Twitter uses, what Instagram uses,
Facebook.
Instagram,
just love.
it's because it creates this slot. It basically creates this slot machine effect, so that you're always trying to get to the price, and then you're constantly scrolling because at some point you will see something that you're expecting to see.
It's a manipulative way.
Exactly. They keep you engaged with the app. They keep you hooked in the app, right? But it's forming, actually, as James mentioned, it's forming like a connection in your brain because you want more and more and more of that content, right? But it's not like a good, healthy behavior, I would say, right? It keeps you like using the app more. Like the opposite can be seen, for instance, in the feature that recently Apple introduced in the iPhone, that you get like a weekly report of how much time you have spent basically with the phone. That actually was meant to do the opposite, to say, okay, if last week you spent 2 more hours with your phone, maybe this week you should be more careful and you should try to not do the same. Simply because, I mean, the goal behind it is to say, okay, reduce the amount of time that you spend watching on this and trying to interact more with your environment, right?
But this tool is it shows that it is a complete nonsense. It's absurd to use something to show that you use too much this thing.
Yes.
It's nonsense.
Yeah, it's counter. Yes, I agree with you. I mean, it's also. I mean, it's using the same media basically to say, you know, you should not. But I agree with you. But sometimes these things are done.
That's why they did it, because it was helpless or it was useless.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's probably more like, okay, we show you that as a company we care about this stuff, right? So we have this feature in, whether you use it or not, I mean, it's your business, right? But we did the effort.
In some cases, just actually seeing the numbers can have a positive effect, actually. So there was a case with dieting, for example, that they tested a group of people who were counting calories and were doing all the traditional forms of dieting, and then they asked one group of people to basically take a photo of their meal every single time they ate. No calorie counting, nothing at all, just basically witnessing and observing what they were eating, and that group consistently lost weight. They had no context of how much time it was, but just having a gauge or an ambient awareness made a difference. I mean, with many of these things, they're almost like dark patterns that are piggybacking off the qualities that are positive, you know, in terms of self-determination period, but never giving an out, you know. So with the infinite scrolling, you know, you feel in control of that. You feel like you're getting something from that. It's constantly giving you something back, but there's never a signal to say, you know, that's enough, you know, or that's too much, for example. And in some cases, the interface will highlight, you know, the action that they want you to take, and it will subvert the action that it feels obligated to give you, or maybe they're obligated to legally. So, for example, the classic one is like signing out or deleting your account. Like the box to say yes, confirm will be, you know, very grey or hard to see, but then the option to do something else, like, you know, keep it in status or to cancel, will be very clear and prominent.
Yeah, if you're interested, I would suggest to look at the Time Plus on the website. They have many things and techniques around this topic.
Actually, we should add it to the deck on the last slide. Yes. Yeah, good point.
Okay. So I would suggest you, you do this exercise. So basically, is looking at two ops that have many features that can be classified into this classification that I showed you before. So one is Pacer, and this is Strava. I think you can find them both on Android and iPhone. And then take some minutes just to find one feature per characteristic. Yeah, so I divided like this. I don't know if all the groups are here, and then you can just work with your group. So A, B, C, and D with Pacer, and then E, F, G, H with Strava. And take 10 minutes to do that, and then one new group of the groups presents.
So the goal is to identify which kind of features.
The goal is to, so basically, I'll put the table here. So I presented 3 of each: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. So the point is that you go to Strava and say, okay, they have reminders, they have goal setting, and they have messaging. And then you tell me which and why you consider it classifies into that category. So try to find 2 at least per category: autonomy, competence, and relatedness.